No. But that fan of yours needs to die in a fire. How about that?
What fan?
One that sounds like you have pointing at your mic. Alright. So here we are. This is day 4 of our broadcast. We are going live for a TVP with our newest edition of Pacheco. In the top left, our green Terran versus TheCubeMan. That's our light blue Protoss. The bad guys. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, TheCubeMan is our Group A champion who is off racing in our Group A champion who's off racing in Group B. He's a diamond level Zerg player who has a few tricks up his sleeve with every race. So he lost his first round of the tournament today to Nero, and he's coming back trying to redeem himself against our newest player, Pacheco. Other than that, I don't really have anything, so you might as well just watch the game, I guess.
I see why Q-Man's APM is so high.
Because he spams?
Oh yeah, he spams like a badass.
Oh, now this is one of those matchups where some guys say, "Oh, I love TVP." Other guys just look at, they just shake their heads and they're like, "I absolutely hate this." And I've heard it from both sides. I mean, there's some Protoss players who just can't stand playing as Terran, and some Terran players who just can't stand Protoss. But I hear it in even numbers, guys going, "Well, Protoss is my best matchup," or "Terran's my best matchup." So it's interesting. It's almost a very personal thing where you don't see the massive cries for this is the only way to see this. Like some Protoss players are dead set on the belief that Terran's imbalanced and they need a nerf, I can't win, and then there's the same amount of Terran players saying the same exact thing back. So this is one of the more interesting matchups, if you want to put it that way.
I think it is. This is probably my favorite matchup because there's no gross things exploding, just aliens dying.
Well, yeah. When Protoss loses, it's my favorite matchup. Otherwise, it makes me very sad.
Fortunately, I have no idea what CubeMan is doing. He's doing some things. He's building some units.
Well, he has one gas. He's spending his chrono on drones. He's putting up his cyber in the back for whatever reason. But he, so far this is looking pretty standard. I mean, he could obviously change what he's doing at any time, but that's one of the strengths of the early game. Oh, I guess he lost his probe over here.
To one Marine.
Yeah.
Looks like Cube is gonna 1 Rax fast expand. Which
is, I would say, probably the most common build versus Protoss in the current state of the game. People like the. I know as a Terran player that it's really hard to keep up economically with a Protoss player who does any kind of econ build, and it's even hard to keep up with a Protoss player who does a real heavy 1 base attack without having the economy from the second command center. It's just, you need to have so much ready so early and often. You're going to lose units, you're going to have to replace them, you're going to need high-tech stuff, and they're going to die, you know? So it's, I mean, the 1 base Terran stuff is shown that it can be very effective in tournament play, but at my personal experience, I find it very difficult. And it looks like Pacheco's going to add on a couple more racks. We'll probably be seeing a tech lab once one of these finishes. And this will be a pretty standard Terran opening. Now this little pressure right here looks like nothing when the Terran player is ready for it. If there was only 1 Marine sitting here, that would have been the game. And that's what that's why Protoss players do that, because you can just finish a game with 1 Stalker if there's only 1 or 2 Marines. And that's one of the most I've lost like that, and it is one of the most frustrating losses. You're going, there's 1 Stalker. Why can't I kill it? Then a second Stalker comes in, and Zealot, or maybe they build a pylon right outside your base, and it's just like, how did I let this happen? And it pretty much comes down to, you don't have that option to be extraordinarily greedy early without giving up that lead. I mean, Protoss units are so hard-hitting and so sturdy for a really early game that you have to have something ready. That's why you see the so many bunkers in play when you in this matchup.
Looks like Cube's going for a number of sentries.
assume he did. That's something that I think we're going to see play a big part in this. Oh man, we're in the Matrix. Hold on. I'm going to need you to help me out watching the the chat, because I've been having issues with XSplit going into robot mode.
What is that?
It's just the sound starts blinking on and off, so I have to mute and unmute. And the guys in the chat will let us know because it sounds awful. But if I'm not looking at the chat, then I miss it, you know?
Alright. Well, I don't have sounds turned on, so I don't know if I can...
No, you don't have to leave the sound on. Just kind of take a peek at the chat if you have if you're on dual displays or whatever. I'll try to do the same.
Indeed, I am on dual displays, and I am watching the chat.
It looks like TheCubeMan had a really good run with that observer, checking out everything he has in his base.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't look like Pacheco has seen it yet. I mean, if you go into Pacheco's vision, it's not even there.
Go, go, go!
It's so annoying, by the way. Flying visible detection unit for like 10 minerals. Get out of here.
Normally I can spot them, but this one is totally invisible to me. Probably because I'm not Pacheco.
Yeah, it's kind of there. When he moves Marines under it, you can see a little distortion, but that's a really slick place to sit that observer.
That is right in between the shadow and the light from the ramp.
Oh yeah. And this Sentry Expand is actually a pretty smart build because it doesn't waste a lot of resources on units you're really not going to need. I mean, if he comes with early pressure, you can hold it off. He has one Immortal, which can, you know, outrange Marines from the other side of the force fields, and he has lots of Zealots in case anyone gets through. I mean, this is a really safe econ build. And now we see him add on a couple more gateways.
Maybe
Running
we'll
out
see
those
another
upgrades.
expansion here. Maybe.
I think he's about that. It's about that time for the TheCubeMan. I mean, he likes to get that 11-minute third up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another expansion anytime now. And he obviously knows exactly what he's up against. I mean, it's pretty common to see the MMM versus Protoss. But I mean, if in case you're on 100% sure, you can always send out an observer to see everything. But it appears that the Pacheco's kind of fallen off on his upgrades. He hasn't started 1-1 yet, and he
Here comes a drop in CubeMan's main, but great control by Cube. All the probes get away. But he does take down the Cyber Core.
So he knows there's a Cyber. He knows none of these units can look up besides the tickle beams, and he knows exactly what kind of unit comp he's looking at. Let's see, and there they are, 2 Vikings immediately. I definitely like this reaction from Pacheco. He got a good scout off by just drop. I mean, that's another big advantage of dropping. You get to actually see what's going on firsthand. I mean, the Cyber Core going down is a big deal, but when you're not building any Stalkers, I mean, it's not gonna slow down his army production all that much. I mean, he is gonna not be able to produce any more sentries, but in the scheme of things. And now he's gonna. Did he lose an upgrade out of that, or was that? I didn't catch it.
Yes, that was an upgrade.
All right, so he stopped him from getting +1 armor.
He didn't stop the charge though, but he did get 3 or 4 probes. And for free, that's still pretty good.
How many did he get?
3 or 4.
He's up to 14 so far.
Is he?
Now he's just going to fight him from the low ground. Pacheco has shown that he has very nice control of his drops. He doesn't tend to lose them unnecessarily. He does a good job of saving those units, which in the long run doesn't seem like all that much. But the fact that he can just turn around and come back in means that the TheCubeMan's forced to sit right here and just wait. It also means that he has to add in some Stalkers. I mean, 1 Stalker is not going to take out a medevac. It's just not going to happen. I mean, you look at the medevac's health. I mean, it's still almost full. And now he spots the observer. No more free intel, my friend.
We don't see another Cyber Core going down quite yet, but we do see a Templar Archives going down, with charge finishing and blink right afterwards.
Oh yeah. This is going to be a real scary army. I mean, I'm surprised he's going with Blink with so few Stalkers. I guess this is just to defend against the drop play. But we don't see a third from the CubeMan just yet. But then again, Protoss does have, I believe, the strongest 2-base push you can assemble.
Well,
now,
he's got one down right now. As you said that.
Oh yeah. So he's scanning from his base. He knows where the army is. This he's doing exactly what I was about to mention, putting his Vikings over the high ground. Makes I've heard a couple Protoss players, like I was watching Evil Geniuses practice where they were talking about matchups. They were just like running. It was a room of like 30 pros, and they were just like, you know, round robining and just, you know, coaching each other and helping out and stuff. And someone was saying I think it was the Muslim was telling In Control. He said, I wouldn't go with Colossus Tech here because there's just too many high ground pieces that you won't be able to hit. Like, even if you have plenty of Stalkers, there's going to be units on the high, like, you know, Vikings on the little high ground ridges that'll make it very difficult for you to. And here comes a drop coming into that third, and he may force a cancel if he gets in there.
Looks like he's moving out to defend it, but he gets intercepted. And oh man, those Colossus are dropping fast.
This is a lot of charge lots, though, which, you know, they really don't seem like all that much, but they are just beefy units. I mean, the smart thing that Pacheco did was take out all those, take out the upgrades, so he doesn't have to deal with the fully upgraded Zealots. And this is going to go really poorly for the CubeMan. He's losing all of his sentries, and here come the storms.
CubeMan is down quite a bit of supply.
Yeah, we're looking at a doubling of supply right now. And Pacheco has the high ground. If only he was playing his brother, I could start screaming things. This Nexus isn't long for this world. And there go the high temps. I mean, this is not looking good for our ringer here. We may have picked up a boss mode Terran when we picked up Pacheco.
I think we may have.
Then again, the CubeMan does play at different levels. He has mentioned that one of his off races is gold level and one is platinum. I'm not exactly sure how he calculated that, but I know that he has mentioned it in the past that his off races are, you know, different proficiencies. So we'll see. And now he's morphing Archons. Do we have a Ghost Academy for Pacheco? We absolutely do, and he's researching his Mobius reactor. One of my favorite names for an upgrade, the Mobius reactor. And there's the GG. Pacheco takes the second game off the CubeMan.